A warm welcome. Thank you for joining us for business today. I'm Ronah Nahabwe, together with Winnie Zanaka for the sign language interpretation. Let's begin with the MDI's capital requirements. The Parliamentary Committee on Finance has deviated from Finance's Ministry's call, recommending the minimum paid-up capital for microfinance deposit-taking institutions to be set at 5 billion shillings, up from 500 million. The Finance Ministry had considered to cap it to 10 billion shillings, a decision that the committee finds inconvenient for the MDIs, especially with the limitations on deposit mobilization as per Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions Act. Pedson Mumbele reports.
The microfinance deposit-taking institutions MDIs will be required to have a minimum capital of 5 billion to operate in the country. This is contained in a statutory instrument on revision of the minimum capital requirements presented to the House following a harmonization process by the Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, you know earlier our position was that 2 billion would suffice. But when we went to the committee and listening to the plea of Bank of Uganda, Ministry of Finance, and the middle ground was that for now we can live with 5 billion, which the chair has elaborately put forward in the report. So largely we agree with the position as presented by the chair of the committee, much as I didn't, but it's up to this House to see through if that is fair, and then they can take a decision.
The chairperson of the committee, Honorable Amos Kankunda, who presented the report, said that there is a need for legal regime that enables majority of microfinance institutions to mobilize deposits to enhance financial inclusion. Kankunda ensures equality among MDIs and aspiring Tier 4 institutions. The minimum paid-up cash capital requirements should be based on the size of the balance sheet of the institution. The majority of such institutions operate under Tier 4 like SACCOs are not legally allowed to take deposits.
That majority of the microfinance institutions are still operating under Tier 4. And these institutions are not legally allowed to take deposits. In order to enhance financial inclusion, there is need for a legal regime that enables the majority of the microfinance institutions to mobilize deposits. And currently, there are only 4 MDIs in the country with a very limited footprint and branch network in the country. And the committee observes that since the MDIs vary in size of their balance sheet and shareholding value, in order to ensure equity among the MDIs, for especially the aspiring Tier 4 institutions, the minimum paid-up capital requirement should not be a one-size-fits-all.
The current Tier 3 institutions in Uganda include Pride Microfinance, Finca, Ugaford and EFC Limited. Tier 4 microfinance institutions are under the control of the Central Bank as per Section 110 of the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions and Money Lenders Act 2016 will be exempted from the statutory instrument. The Shadow Minister for Finance, Honorable Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi, emphasized the need to deepen the reach of deposit-taking institutions to enable mobilization of money in communities.
That these Tier 4 SACCOs are not deposit-taking institutions. So my mother, my voter, those other people who go to the other market and sell their cattle cannot deposit their money in the evening in a Tier 4 institution. And therefore, that's why we are making a point. If we don't deepen the reach of Tier 4, a lot of monies will remain in the community unmobilized.
He added that government should encourage indigenous investors to enter the space of money lending in a bid to secure the economy. The State Minister for Finance, Honorable Henry Musasizi, agreed with the committee position and commended it for setting a middle ground. He said that government preferred 10 billion, but since MDS cannot get it, 5 billion is good enough.
Honorable Minister, do you agree with this position? Do you think it can suffice for now?
Would have preferred the 10, but since we can't get it, the 5 is good enough. I therefore agree with the position.
Thank you. Colleagues, this is a matter which...
Microfinance deposit of the 5 billion as indirectly intended to kick off the smaller scale operators and more so the local investors, because there is no way you can condition someone to first have a deposit of 5 billion when even what is the capital, the working capital required may not even exceed even 20 million. This one would work better for the foreign investors who are just coming in the country to check on their financial muscles and the capability of whether they can run this business effectively. Because
according to the Finance Committee, paid-up capital enables banks to finance strategic development projects and sectors which are largely financed with external borrowing and domestic syndication. Benson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
We now look at inclusive fintechs. Women in Fintech Hackathon, which began 3 months ago, training 30 female-led teams in various innovations, including digital ticketing and booking, anticipate digital mastery as the industry evolves on tech. Today, all participating teams and individuals across East Africa received a share of the 38 million prize as the winner bagged 4 million shillings. An additional seed capital of 500,000 shillings has been awarded to participants. Questions still linger on how receptive the market will be. Digital finance is believed to empower women by granting them control over finances and challenging gender norms. This notion aligns with Uganda's National Financial Inclusion Strategy of 2017-2022, which highlights a gender gap of 25% of women actively using mobile money services compared to 38% of men, underscoring gender disparity.
Industry, and our cry is that more women should be added and join the fintech industry, the tech industry, and participate. The jobs in the tech industry are really high paying, and societal norms have actually eroded the confidence of women to the point that they are not applying for these jobs, they are not joining the tech industry, they are not taking up careers in tech, and there is a need for them to actually follow this path and get a chance to participate, because their lives will improve. When we have more women in the fintech space, their lives are definitely going to improve because of the opportunities that they will get out of being in the tech industry. So
much support out there that is being given to women-led businesses, but people do not know. The sensitization is not there, but it also takes a personal initiative. How much are you researching? Every day when you wake up, if you are a woman that has a business, how much are you looking for in terms of support, or are you just seated? I mean, we already talked about technology and the many ways it can literally transform your business, and that's just through a Google search. You know, how many support initiatives have come up in Africa, in Uganda, on a daily basis.
The fourth edition of the Women in Fintech Hackathon has attracted over 4,000 women in tech and innovators, forming 30 teams from Uganda and Kenya. High People's goal for this year's innovators is to achieve market success, similar to Kuzimba Services, Aspen Technologies, and Mpape. The winners, who developed a street parking digitization innovation, are grateful for the 4 million shillings prize and mentorship. However, they still need 10 million shillings to fully launch their app on platforms like the Play Store.
We've showcased on the panel, the first panel, successful products or successful teams that have been here before. They started their fintech products in the hackathon, and they've gone on to start companies, and their products are already in the market. So the solutions that they're designing here are highly sellable because they are addressing pain points that most people face, especially women and the last mile people. So yeah, it's not just halabalu. They are addressing real world problems, and if they're able to do that, then
we've not invested much actually, because we need a lot to do so that we launch our product. So the approximation amount of money that we may need is some good amount of money, around maybe 10 million and plus, because if you have to make the budget, we need to host the system, we need to implement it and all that.
So you have not done the feasibility study?
So far, what we have done, we've come up with the application already, though we've not yet hosted it, like you cannot find it on Play Store. It is a working thing.
Innocent Kawoya, the CEO of High People, takes pride in tech startups emerging from women in fintech hackathon and making their way to the market. However, he emphasizes a significant hurdle, the substantial financial burden. The Minister of State for ICT, Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao, has highlighted the importance of government support for these income-generating innovations to flourish.
We've had a number of projects every year that have made it, some that were winners, others that didn't win but actually decided to take their products to the market, actually going to the market and serving so many people. I mean, there are products like Kau, Kozimba services, PesaJet, to mention but a few. All of these have been incubated as a part of the Women in FinTech initiative, and they have gone out to serve so many people. The main challenge, we've mastered the game of making sure we get women on board and include them, but it is a costly initiative. For instance, we host at least 100 women for 8 days minimally, for 12 hours every single day. And they are supposed to have food, they are supposed to have a place to stay. I mean, when we host people from up country, we are supposed to pay for them hotel, transport, and all those other things. And they don't go without spending a penny. Of course, probably that should be the most immediate challenge that we are facing. But we are working on all ways of partnering with government and other stakeholders. Of course, we're very thankful to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that has been a very, very responsive partner from the beginning, that they meet almost every single cost of what we do to date, and they make sure they do this every year and timely to make sure that these women have a chance to access skills and new technologies that can help them accelerate their way of leading their way in making use of technology to advance their lives.
There's one last question.
You
were talking about...
Kati abakyala ddala basobola okwekolera emirimu gyabwe ku bwabwe nga tewali omuntu yenna abakozesa. Ebyo bulijjo bye tugamba nti buli muntu yeekozese. Kakati bano abakyala beekozesa abaana bawala bato, abamu bali mu senior 6, abamu bakyali mu universities, naye batandise business. Business ezitambula obulungi ennyo. Ebintu bingi ebyokukola naye abantu bagamba wakati mwami Kawoyo ali bw'omu sigamba nti gavumenti emukwatiddeko. Era mpulira challenge, tulina okusoomozebwa kw'amaanyi nnyo nga gavumenti, tulina okuvaayo nga gavumenti.
Ronah, Nahabwe, Smart 24 TV, Business Today. We now look at how Mukono municipality is misfiring. Mukono Municipal Council has failed to account for the slow recovery of government funds injected in the Youth Livelihood Program. Mukono's performance has been noted to be very poor, lacking better strategies to recover funds disbursed to interest groups. As the district sent 3.9 billion shillings unspent balances back to the consolidated fund, it has been tasked to recover the Youth Livelihood Program funds, or else officials be held accountable.
There is a notion that whenever government disperses money for livelihood programs, it is always free money, and most beneficiaries do not want to refund it. Out of 513 million shillings that was given to Mukono Municipal Council for youth livelihood programs, only 96 million has been recovered.
As we'll see, the rate is completely deplorable. That's why now we need to, going forward, examine the strategies this entity has, in terms of improving this rate of collection. Because as you know, Chair, as committee, we have made it very clear to all these entities that there is no money, because this is taxpayers' money, there is no money which will be forfeited. We are not ready to allow government to forfeit any money as far as these two areas are concerned, the YLP and WEB. So maybe we need to hear from the accounting officer and the team what strategies they have put in place to ensure that this money is collected. Because some entities are doing very, very well. We have had some entities which are registering 80-85%, especially with the WEB. 65, 70 in terms of for YLP. So, but Mukono is a story which you cannot write home about. Mukono municipality. So we need to hear what strategies you have
indicator of lack of seriousness. Can you briefly tell us some of the strategies you're using to recover that money? Because the way you're explaining is as if it's none of your concern. So you should try to show us the strategies you're using to recover that money, because seriously, the recovery is too low. It should be explained with a lot of pain, because this is public money.
According to municipal leaders, they have put strategies to recover these funds, but they are constrained with some people who keep preaching that government money is always free money, which is why they want to involve political leaders to join this fight.
So we are also asking ourselves, are we lacking sensitization? Are these people doing their work as CDOs to emphasize on that, say that this money is not for free? They have to return it, because it is a say that all the money that is given out from the government is for free, and the president is just thanking you for voting, which is not true. But it could be better if really these strategies work for us to recover at least some money, so that our youth also, those who didn't get, benefit from this fund.
When I went to Mukono and I interacted with the team, the first thing I asked the team was to tell me what are the strategies that they are going to employ to ensure that the revenue from YRP groups and the women, the UAP fund was realized. And indeed the chair, the department responded, and in writing.
In the financial year 2021-2022, Mukono Municipal Council received 22.7 billion shillings and spent 18.5 billion shillings, meaning that 3.9 billion shillings was unspent and taken back to the consolidated fund, only that these have denied this and only confirmed 11 million shillings.
The money you received was 22 billion. And out of the 22 billion, you spent only 18 billion. It means you failed to spend 3.9 billion. And the 3.9 billion which you failed to spend, it was swept back to the Central Treasury. And we would like you to explain to the committee, why is it you failed to absorb this money given to Mukono Municipal Council?
No, I don't agree with the 3.9 billion. I only agree with the 11 million, on which even the breakdown was given during the audit.
Officer.
Same query here is saying the accounting officer should give a breakdown of the unspent balance of 3.9. Are we together? It is in our report.
Yes, proceed.
Which must be a point of reference. I don't know why they put this. If they knew it was a system, they could have said maybe they would the accounting officer should liaise with the PSST to harmonize this. But they are saying the accounting officer should be able to break down the unspent balance of 3.9 billion.
The team from Mukono has equally been requested to enforce recovery of all livelihood programs monies, else they'll be the ones to pay these monies. Samla Nifa, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Thank you, Samla Nifa, for that report. We now look at food security. As an International Youth Day set focus on green skills for sustainability, the day has locally been taken to Kabale, benchmarked on post-pandemic recovery. Hunger Project Uganda has thus urged youths to contemplate investing in agriculture and considering it as a lucrative commercial opportunity. Mondo Chateka, the Commissioner for Youth, for Children and Youth, made a similarly significant call during the youth dialogue at Chitumba Sub-County in Kabale District.
Oh, you are very positive, because as I told you, the youth are the most energetic, they they are the most energetic, they are numerical strength we have so many youth, over 10 million youth, and so there's even a strategy by means of agriculture on youth engagement in agriculture, which we are implementing to ensure that young people are gainfully employed within the agricultural sector. We are trying to make young people understand that agriculture is a business, and you can decide to go into agriculture as a business of choice. People have got rich out of agriculture. Under YLP, Youth Livelihood Program, many young people decided to engage in bull fattening.
Centered on the dialogue's theme of building youth resilience in food and nutrition post the COVID-19 pandemic, Mondo emphasizes that agriculture stands as the sole gateway to ensuring food security. He further emphasizes the significance of involving youth in initiatives designed to change mindset, which discourages them from having to buy motorcycles for border services by selling off their land.
Youth is selling land to go and buy borders, to come to the municipality of Kabale is not sustainable. And it doesn't make sense that you sell land, you buy a piki that can perish within a day or can be stolen. We need mindset change. And I'm happy that under PDM, one of the pillars is mindset change. We need to change the young people's way of thinking. Thinking they don't want to touch anything dirty. Yes, we are trying to make agriculture sexy by mechanization, but still money does not smell where it has come from.
Evelyn Namviru, the head of programs at the Hunger Project Uganda, highlights that Uganda holds a distressing ranking in the realm of hunger and food insecurity. She points out that this situation has been exacerbated by prevailing poverty and a significant portion of the youth population turning away from agriculture.
So mostly for the hunger and security, I think for Uganda, we are really ranking highly in situations of being one of the countries hit by hunger, and especially like we have not yet tapped the potential we have to really eradicate the hunger into the country.
Nambiru further elaborates on their strategic approach, explaining that they are actively involving the youth in their initiatives. One of their strategies involves establishing an agriculture business institution. The institution aims to empower the youth by equipping them with knowledge and skills related to agriculture, enabling them to foster self-development through this sector.
Get to understand more of what is happening out there, especially with the successful youth who are in agriculture. What have they done for them to actually attain the positions where they are? So the youth are lacking that, and majority because they think for agriculture is for adults, not for the youth. So we need to really link them to their peers so that they can also understand this is for them.
In the midst of discussions surrounding agriculture, food security and nutrition during the dialogue, the youth were also exposed to various other topics. These include addressing challenges like teenage pregnancy, early marriages, and consequences of having unplanned children. This story was compiled by Ndiamhachi Nobat for Smart 24 TV Business Today.
Thank you, Nobat Ndiamhachi, for that report. We will now take a short break. We still have more in store. Don't go away.
Smart 24, driving business.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and gets a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
Luxury redefined at Seasan Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy, exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full-course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at Seasan Hotel. So visit today at plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. Seasan Hotels, luxury redefined.
Is my joy. Ono bulu majiki wange. Ayo talaba kumabala atukuza nonyirirawo kirako enyange tayisa bubi faburiki kyonna kyekiri kiggwa lwa bulu majiki is my choice. Ono bulu majiki ye wange. And the blue majiki is my choice. Hey, ono blue majiki ye wange.
Waliwo abagamba nti okuyiiya emizannyo si muzannyo, olina okwewaayo n'okukkiririza ennyo mu ky'oyiiya. Olina okubaayo n'omuntu akuyambako. Naye olowooza omuntu ng'ekyo kimuli mu musaayi ebyo bimulya? Anti aba yazaalibwa kukola ekyo. Tega Pearl Magic Prime ne Pearl Magic Loco. Sigala ng'oyungiddwako olabe engero zaffe ennyuvu nga bikoleddwa mu ngeri eyaffe ey'ekinnansi.
Smart 24, driving business.
We'll be back from that short break. Thank you for sticking with us. We now look at oil and gas skill sets, where the Deputy Speaker of Parliament confirmed yesterday that the local content bill is almost ready. Oil and gas sector players are on course to fully equip upcoming labour force. Sinok Petroleum Authority of Uganda and the Uganda Petroleum Institute of Kigumba flagged off a section of welder graduates ready to be taken on as construction works in the industry gain weight. Take a look.
While Uganda is yet to secure the Local Content Act to stamp local employment uptake and opportunities, Kingfisher project is positioned to add weight to Uganda's oil journey, with more than 16,000 jobs for locals expected during construction works. This further compounded by the flag-off of welding trainees by CNOOC, one of the mega players in the oil sector.
CNOOC and their contractors already employed more than 3,500 the local workers. CNOOC Uganda company attach great importance to the training of local youth. And taking the training of the welders as an example today, a total of the 340 Uganda youths have obtained the qualification certification of the welder, including the 160 trainees who completed their certification of the welder today. As the construction continues, more than 16,000 local jobs will be created in Uganda. It will also further upgrade the local economy by training the local oil and gas talents.
Just yesterday, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament intimated just how almost ready the local content bill is. Meanwhile, the aspect is currently being critical, undertaken by oil and gas players such as CNOOC, Total Energies and affiliate stakeholders to implement skilling among Ugandans with welding and entry to the catalogue.
The industry baseline study the main objective was to divulge the required manpower and material requirements for the oil and gas development projects, all through development and production. And we found out from that survey that there are certain skills that will be necessary, very cardinal in the development of the oil projects as well as the pipeline. And this is where we found out that the country, we need highly skilled welders, and that is in essence the path of it. Okay.
According to the State Minister for Mineral Development, Simon Peter Lokeris, the country anticipates to effectively transform local employment opportunities and assimilate potential labor with up to 80% by 2040.
Through this kind of intervention that the country will be able to achieve the goals of the local content policy for the oil and gas industry, which is to increase participation of Ugandans in the oil and gas industry in Uganda from the current 28% to 80% local content by 2040. As government, we are committed to support the oil companies and Ugandans to achieve this important goal.
To the upcoming labor force, sponsorship to acquire practical skills for the industry should be coupled with relative employment in the oil and gas sector. Having the demand is further unbound by the State Minister for Mineral Development's positivity about assimilating majority Ugandans.
There are some few people who are unemployed, and most of us we are not employed in the oil industry. And some people who are employed, they are doing it very good, and their products are very good. And with that, we ask you, our sponsors, to employ us in the oil industry so that we work there. We are very ready and skilled enough. So we ask for employment. When we were applying for these scholarships to study, they are telling us that from school we should go to work. So we ask for employment. We can't show them our skills that we gained from here. And we are very ready. To our sponsors, CNOOC Uganda, we cannot...
Even if the work is not with CNOOC or with anybody else, there are garages all over the country which need your skills. Although you cannot really stay without a job. But for us Ugandans, sometimes we used to think these skills were not necessary. And I think you have known that they are very, very necessary. You can weld until you die. It's not a job you can be told you retire. You don't retire. You continue.
Employment in the multi-billion-dollar oil and gas sector investment is one of the key anticipations besides window to rip-up country growth, pulling in extra linkage opportunities for multi-sectoral transformation. Samlanifa, Ronah, Nahabwe, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
We now look at Bundibujo's cocoa. The Great Lakes Farmers Organization has taken on Bundibujo, engaging cocoa farmers in the district to embrace farmer-family approach so as to improve production and attract better markets. This comes at a time when farmers with overgrown trees cite losses and limited output. Take a look.
Originating in the 1960s, cocoa cultivation in Bundibujo district emerged as an alternative when farmers recognized the diminishing returns of Robusta coffee. Since its inception, cocoa has steadfastly held its position as a primary cash crop, sustaining countless livelihoods within the district. However, the district now faces critical challenge: the proliferation of overgrown cocoa trees, significantly undermining both production levels and quality. This in turn has precipitated a distressing downward trend in prices, not only within the local market but also on the global stage. Great Lakes Organic Farmers Association is now in Bundibujo to educate cocoa farmers on farmer-family approach group with the aim of encouraging farmers to adopt better agricultural practices.
Our mission is to promote organic producers and consumers improved livelihood through the farmer-family learning group approach.
The director of the Great Lake Organics Organization, Longino Masereka, says that the farmer-family group approach has helped the cocoa farmers since it brings the family together to discuss challenges they face during production.
The extension workers are already appreciating the model because one, it is cost-friendly and time-saving. You reach so many farmers easily than struggling the extension officers reaching every farm. You can imagine 10 members of the family, including the children and others, being in that approach. How many farmers have you reached if you were to join that approach?
Deputy RDC Uma Muhanguzi impassioned plea for extension workers to educate farmers about cultivating a diverse array of crops emerges as a pivotal strategy in battle against hunger and food insecurity in Bundibujo district.
Most of our people here, actually, they have nothing to eat. So, and the cocoa we are talking about, the production is going low. We are planning to put a cocoa factory here, but we also worried of the production. It may be a white elephant. We put money there, a factory there, but we have no raw materials. So the members who are here and the leaders, we need really to come to our tasks, go and mobilize our people so that we have food.
Catherine Namgerwa, Masakatsime for Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Well, there you have it. We've come to the end of Business Today. Thank you so much for having joined us. Before I officially sign out, here's a quick look at what made the top stories tonight. In Business Today, the Parliamentary Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Development has set minimum capital for microfinance institutions at 5 billion shillings. The Organic Farmers Association has taken on Bundibujo, engaging cocoa farmers to embrace farmer-family approach to attract better markets. Mukono district performance has been noted to be very poor, lacking better strategies to recover funds disbursed to interest groups. Once again, thank you for having joined us tonight. It's really such a pleasure. I'm Ronah Nahabwe, together with Winnie Wiyinza Nakawochi for the sign language interpretation. In case you missed any of these reports, please watch on our YouTube channel at Smart 24 TV Live and follow on our social media platforms, especially on Twitter at Smart 24 TV. Please do have a good night and enjoy yourself this weekend.
Smart 24, driving business.
Say goodbye to paperwork and travel costs. Now every MTN customer can register to invest in securities anytime and anywhere with Zabu in a few simple steps. Step 1. Dial *292 hash. Step 2. Select option 1. Register with Zabu. Step 3. Enter your full names. Step 4. Enter your national identification number. Step 5. Enter your national identification card number. In 24 hours, you will receive an SMS confirming your registration. Congratulations, you are now ready to invest.